Joining us today, Jeff Cook from Jeff Cook Real Estate. I'm so excited to finally meet you.
Thank you so much for having me along today.
All right, we're here at Ben 526 in Daniel Island. Absolutely beautiful. We got an awesome spread here, beautiful wine, and now I'm ready to ask you all these questions.
Absolutely.
Okay? How did Jeff Cook Real Estate begin?
So I started back in 2003, and I was going to college at the University of South Carolina. Go Gamecocks!
Woo!
Yeah. And I was working at a retail store selling TVs. And they brought us all in one day and they said we need to have a big meeting and we're restructuring, and needless to say it didn't end well, and myself and 5 of the top salespeople in the store all got laid off, literally for being too good because they couldn't afford to continue to pay us the amount that we were earning. So they laid us off for for that, and then for the next 6 months when I graduated college, I went to real estate school, and I graduated both college and real estate school in May of 2003.
And the rest is history, right?
Well, sort of. I borrowed $1,500 from my dad. I did what any broke college kid does.
Yep.
I went to my dad and said, hey, I need to borrow some money because I will get this new idea. And he goes, well, great. Does it involve this 4-year degree that actually took 5 years?
Oh, I didn't go for the whole victory lap. I went for just one more football season. So I'm a December graduate.
I got you. I got you. So yeah, he says, well, what does it have to do with this degree that we've just paid all this money for? And the answer was, of course, absolutely nothing. So I got into real estate and started selling houses, and with $1,500, and we created it from there.
And then look where we are now. Okay, how would your wife describe you?
My wife would describe me as loving, caring, but tells it like it is.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very...
You keep it 100?
Yeah, absolutely. 100-0, 100% accountability, 0 excuses.
So you would tell her if something didn't look good on her and stuff?
I would.
See, I appreciate that.
I would tell her all the time. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because
no, I think it's good.
It is, okay. Well, she always comes up to me, she's like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, it's amazing. And she's like, well, I don't know. And then the next 10 minutes later, she's changing, and I'm like, I promise I would have told you if it's not great.
Yeah, seriously. All right. Tell us about your worst client. Obviously, no names, but just somebody that you were like...
Worst client. Well, so there's, in real estate, I have a very interesting one, and also I can tell you the worst one. The worst is whenever we put somebody's house for sale, they call us, like, we want to sell our house, and we call you because, you're one of the best, or really the best, and at the end of the day, we sell their house, like, in the first week. And they're so excited about the fact that we sell the house, but they're like, hey, are you guys gonna do this for half price since we sold it in the first week? And it's almost like, hey, since y'all didn't have to spend so much time and effort and energy on marketing, like, could you give us a discount? And it's like, okay, so if we wouldn't have done such a great job for you, and maybe, kept it on the market for a month or 2 months before it sold, you wouldn't be asking for a discount.
And you'd be paying your mortgage.
Exactly,
still.
you're saving mortgage payments. So, so we've actually turn around and say, hey, if we sell it fast, and maybe you give us a bonus, right?
Exactly, I love that.
So that's the worst, but let me tell you the most intriguing. So we had this happen in Mount Pleasant a while back, where this lady wanted us to sell her house, and she says, I gotta have $1 million for it, and it's not quite worth that, but we said, tell you what, let's go for it, let's give it a shot and see what happens. So we put the house on the market, and it didn't sell super fast because of the price point, and also is a little higher than what it's worth. But over time, she called us and she says, what can we do to sell this house like really fast? I gotta sell it inside of 30 days. Well, come to find out, unfortunately, she had, some embezzlement issues.
Oh, that makes it real interesting.
It was very interesting. And needless to say, she flew out of the country while this was going on, so they couldn't find her. And the FBI showed up at our doorstep asking us to get access to the house and take everything out of the house. And so, anyway, so I sent her a quick email and said, hey, this is going on. As a client relationship, I need to inform you what's going on with your house. And so the FBI literally comes back the next day and says, don't ever tip anybody off again if we're looking for them. So they were obviously reading her emails and all of that stuff.
Well, that would have been a helpful little memo they left you on that one.
I know. So I was like, what do I do? But needless to say, we sold the house. She was able to pay the money back. And, from there, I'm not sure what happened. But there was a bit of a happy ending. But that was probably, having the FBI show up at the doorstep, probably the most memorable one we've had.
I wasn't expecting that one. Okay. So what's your biggest pet peeve?
I would say inefficiencies or slow driving, or, it's like it's sometimes when you watch something and it's like, okay, and like, why are you doing A, then E, then B? It's like, just go A, B, C, But slow driving is totally one of those. Slow people in the fast lane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, slow people in the slow lane. Any slow people, it's like, get out of the way. It's like we have a motto around our office, which is be bright and be gone. You know, be fast, be bright,
Get down
be gone.
on it, right?
Let's do it.
All right, are you a dog or a cat person?
Definitely dog. I've got a Husky Shepherd at home. Johnny, he is 8.5 years old. And he was a tear-off puppy, which, by the way, is one of those ones when you go inside a Starbucks and at the bottom where they have all the little things where you tear off.
Really?
Yeah, so my friend tore the puppy off, you know, of the little thing and said, hey, you need to call this number and get this dog. And I'm like, I don't need a dog. This is a pre-marriage. And I'm like, I don't need a dog, you know. And so she goes, well, if you don't get the dog, I'm going to get the dog. And so the next day she goes, I called, I got the dog, he's with me. Your new dog is here, come get him. And I'm like, well,
no
all
pressure.
Right. I was like, let me meet this dog to see, and needless to say, the dog went home with me along with, you know, $300 worth of dog toys and dog food, and we've been living happily ever after since. But definitely the dog lover is inside of me.
I love that. So what do you look like when you're mad?
When I'm mad, let's see. So I get quiet at first, and then I like to resolve it just as quick as possible. But at first it's kind of a quiet thing until I get a chance to analyze it, and then I'm like, you know what, life's too short to be too mad. So, and plus I'm super busy, so I don't have time to stay mad. But for me, it's one of those things where it's like, you know what, let's just huff and puff and go outside and kick rocks for 5 minutes and then get back to life.
For more information, visit jeffcookrealestate.com.